In this video, I'll be giving you a brief introduction and an elevator pitch for 2022 NFL Draft prospect Eric Johnson. Who is Eric Johnson? Eric Johnson is an interior defensive lineman from Missouri State. He measured in at 6'4", 300 pounds with 33 and 7/8 inch arms at the Senior Bowl, so almost 34-inch arms. He was 19th, my 19th interior defensive lineman on my latest big board. He ranked 281st overall, which means he could be a UDFA. Although as we'll get into, I don't think he'll get that far. I think he'll end up being a draft pick. But Johnson is a six-year collegiate athlete who began making noise a few months ago thanks to an invite to the NFLPA Bowl. After blowing up offensive linemen throughout practices, Johnson earned an invite to the Senior Bowl. And while his helmet was unfamiliar for many people watching the practices or many scouts there, nothing else made it seem like he was different because he fit right in with all the guys that were there. All the major school players, all the guys from the Georgias and the LSUs, he looked like he belonged there, certainly. At roughly 300 pounds, Johnson is slightly undersized for his position. He projects as a 6th to 7th round selection. He won't see the field much as a rookie. Johnson needs to add a lot more functional strength to play at the NFL level, but he could play various roles on the defense that might mitigate some of those problems. I think a defense that shifts his alignment around at times would be very beneficial for him. I could see an NFL asking Johnson to play a 3-4 defensive end role, while occasionally allowing him to reduce inside and play a little bit more along the interior. That 3-4 defensive end position, there are a lot of guys who are closer to 280, I would say, that play that role in the NFL. And Johnson, I think, has the mobility. He's not an extreme athlete. He's not a Devontae Wyatt level twitch kind of player. He's not like that. Or he doesn't match that explosiveness. But he's still a fairly decent athlete. And at 300 pounds with his size and arm length, I believe he could be an impact player if asked to play as a 3-4 defensive end. Because I don't think at his current weight, he'll be able to play truly as a defensive tackle, even in a 4-3 scheme. I don't think that would work. But certainly I think it would be worth a try. As I said, a late 6th round pick to a 7th round selection is where I believe he'll go in the draft. Because you don't see players perform like he did at the Senior Bowl and then not get drafted, in my opinion. He just played too well in those instances to not get selected at some point in this draft class. And while Johnson spent some time in the A gap over the past 2 years, he's almost always lined up in the B gap, which separates the guard and tackle for those who don't know. He notably got a big win against, and this is when I actually started recognizing him. He got a big win against Kentucky offensive lineman Darian Kennard while Kennard was playing at guard at the Senior Bowl, beating him with a nasty spin move. That's kind of when I began noticing Eric Johnson and starting to look into him a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, Darian Kennard's a player who will probably go in the 3rd round. He's not a superstar. He'll probably end up playing guard instead of offensive tackle in the NFL despite playing tackle at Kentucky. But if you can beat a 3rd round offensive lineman the way Eric Johnson did, there's a place for you in the NFL. You can find your way at least onto a practice squad. And like I said, if it just takes the 7th round draft pick to get Eric Johnson on a team, I certainly think he's worth that much. So I believe Eric Johnson will go and hear his name called in the 2022 NFL Draft.